So there's a very famous quote from one of my movies. It's called The Big Short. I don't know if you've seen that, but it
Yeah.
basically this dialogue which says that Wall Street loves to overcomplicate things to let
Hmm.
the general user seem that this is something that we cannot do. This is something very very jargon heavy, something which we probably don't understand. It's best if we leave it to them, right? But it's not the case. Right, things are pretty simple. Even if you see the biggest investors, all they say that you need to have good investable income is basically have a good common sense.
Hey folks, welcome to First Cheque Portfolio Shorts. My name is Noah Martins, and this is a series where we speak to founders of our portfolio companies so that you get to know their team, understand what they're building, and the problem they're trying to solve. If you like the content that we've been putting out, do like, share, and subscribe so that we can reach more founders and startup enthusiasts like you. Today's very special guest is Mohit Bhandari, co founder of Stratzy. Stratzy is an easy way for retail investors to get the same level of wealth management and investing capabilities that HNIs enjoy today. They charge less fees than the existing investment options such as mutual funds and fund managers and provide higher, consistent returns to their customers with the help of a proper risk management system. I had a fun conversation with Mohit, and it's awesome to see him and his team creating this new way to invest. Stick around till the end of the episode to learn more.
Mohit, thank you so much for joining me. It is a pleasure to talk to you today.
Yeah, same, likewise.
Awesome. So let's talk. Let's start by talking about the problem that you're trying to solve at Stratzy.
Correct. So, investments, they have not been accessible to a lot of us throughout the previous years, right? So initially the question that the industry was facing was how to invest. And this problem has been solved by all of these tech brokers at scale, right? So if you see Zerodha, Upstocks, all of these grow and all of them, right? They solved that problem of how to invest because initially people didn't knew how to invest, and the entities who had the distribution muscle, like the mutual fund distributors, all of these banks, right? You would go to a bank and your father, they would suggest your father that invest into this and this mutual fund. So whoever had the distribution muscle, they won. But recently the shift came to discovery, because now thanks to YouTube, all this information out there, all these influencers talking about stock markets, people understand what stock markets are, right? And the next general question was how to invest. That got solved with these brokerage firms. But after that problem was solved, the new problem that came out into the markets was what to invest into, right? So we have solved for how to invest. Now the problem in the industry is what to invest. Retailers, they don't have the time, they don't want to put in too much effort, they don't understand the technicalities of all of everything, right? And that is a problem that we are solving, right? We are helping people figure out what to invest into. We are powering them with our research and insights, and they can take these actions with just as simple as a swipe, right? And invest into these strategies and ideas that we have.
Okay, that's interesting. So talk to me about what the solution looks like. What is Stratzy? I understand the philosophy of it, but what does the actual platform look like? Like on a practical basis, what does this look like?
Correct. So if you see, right, we have two offerings, something called ideas and strategies. Now, what are ideas? So let's go back to pandemic 2020. Every doctor in India was prescribing paracetamol. Now, there's only one company in India which makes a chemical required to make a paracetamol, and the stock price, IOL Chemicals, it's shot up more than 2-3 times in a couple of weeks, right? Now, this is an idea which anyone can understand. Even me, even you, even someone who doesn't understand the technicalities of the stock market, they can understand these ideas. And that is what we put forward in these ideas segment. And then there are something called strategies. Now, what are strategies? They are quantitative basket of portfolios. It basically minimizes your risk while maximizing your return. So there's a strategy called seasonal stars. So what it does is, as you know, many businesses are seasonal in nature, right? So for example, Vadilal, which is an ice cream company, it sells more during summers. Now, when it sells more during summers, the revenue shoot up, and that's why the stock price rises during a couple of months. And it basically picks out those seasonal picks for you, rebalance it every month. Now, what does rebalance mean? So assume you bought a portfolio. After a month of time, the strategy will tell you to rebalance it, sell these stocks, buy these, and basically minimizing your risk at the same time, keeping the upside high. So these are the basic two offerings that we have, ideas and strategies. And you can just come on to our app, connect your existing brokerage account. If you have a Zerodha, Angel Broking, 5paisa, right? All of them you can connect your brokerage account, then invest into these ideas and strategy through the Stratzy app itself. So you don't need to go anywhere else. You can directly invest. We have more brokers coming in soon, and this is basically what our offering is.
Right. So that's very cool. So the user doesn't have to do their own research, but it's also not a situation where they're not being presented with the thesis. You're explaining the thesis to them, and you're explaining the application of that thesis also. So they get to make an informed decision without actually having to do all the research themselves.
Yeah, correct. So there's a very famous quote from one of my movies. It's called The Big Short. I don't know if you've seen that, but it
Yeah.
basically this dialogue which says that Wall Street loves to overcomplicate things to let the
Hmm.
general user seem that this is something that we cannot do. This is something very very jargon heavy, something which we probably don't understand. It's best if we leave it to them, right? But it's not the case. Right, things are pretty simple. Even if you see the biggest investors, all they say that you need to have good investable income is basically have a good common sense.
Cool. Okay. So talk to me about what the progress is so far. What does the traction look like? How many users do you all have right now?
Correct. So we have around 13,000 users on the platform, checking out these ideas, strategies, investing into them. More than
Awesome.
80 lakhs of investment through the app itself. More
Wow.
than 50,000 trades have been placed. So all in all, people are still exploring the platform. They are still trying it out. We are also launching a couple of more of our features soon, which we believe would be very beneficial to our users. And yeah, and the users that we are targeting, right? There's a specific segment. So if you see the recent trend, people are moving from passive to active investing. So something
Hmm.
like mutual funds and all were actually a product for our parents, grandparents, because they didn't understand stock markets. So for them, it was like, I'll put my money into HDFC mutual fund and it'll take care of it. But now that people understand these things, they want to invest themselves, and that's why they're opening up those so many brokerage accounts, right? But the main metric that you need to see to understand that investing is not that simple as it seems is that less than 25% of DMATs are active yearly, right? So
Okay.
all of these brokerage accounts are opening up so many accounts, there people don't understand how to invest, and that is what our user base is basically people who want to invest but don't know where to start, how to get started, or they're facing some roadblocks.
That's great. Awesome. All right. So talk to me about how you and your co-founder met and why people should want to come and join your team and help you build this.
Correct. So it's a very long story. We met in our first year in Bitspilani, Goa campus, and we both were a part of our finance club, which we call the Wall Street Club. I eventually went on to lead the club as a coordinator, and the idea there was to be around like-minded people. So we both loved each other's company. We used to sit around, dabble around with lots of fintech ideas. So we were seeing the whole fintech boom in India, and we wanted to be a part of it, right? Being close to tech and finance, we wanted to do something there. So we used to stick around, talk about ideas. We tried implementing a couple of products. It was called AlgoGuard, AlgoSim, and we went to Y Combinator finals with that idea. So Gaurav had a tech background, he computer science plus mathematics. I was trying to do something in finance, and we both collaborated on this problem that we want to build this, and we went to Y Combinator finals with that idea, and we got rejected, and that is the best thing that happened to us, right? So we went back to our whiteboard. We realized that these are the mistakes that we are doing, and we started to look. It was a very niche product, so we started to look on the other side at the start of the funnel where the growth was happening. All these millennial Gen Z coming into stock markets, and we decided that we wanted to do something. So we went back to our whiteboard, drafted a plan. So I came over to Mumbai. He was living in Mumbai. We rented an apartment here, and we both were at the time it was just us two, right? And we both started working on this, getting initial users. But yeah, but we met in college, and we were very close friends for the past 4 or 5 years. We have known each other, right? And I think being around like-minded people is the first step to get a good co-founder.
Right. And as for why people should want to join your team and help you build this.
Yeah, correct. So there are multiple answers to that, but one biggest advantage is the work culture and the dedication with which the team works towards, right? So our our thesis of hiring is always, get the best people into a room and get out of their way, right? So we don't want people whom we have to tell, do this, do that. Instead, we want people who can think like entrepreneurs, and they are entrepreneurs in their own mindset. And then we can just show them the processes, show them what needs to be done, and then, they come up with ideas. It's their work, and that is something which I believe is pretty important. Getting credibility in the early stage of your employee journey, because when you get credibility, when you build something, when you get ownership, right, it's very important because it helps you learn a lot of things.
Amazing. Love it. Okay, Mohit, I'm going to let you go with one last question. Okay, and this is usually my favorite question to ask. So, if you watch the show Silicon Valley, in every season, there are a few of these highlight moments where the team has to pause and be like, damn, we're actually building something really cool here. For example, when that bird's egg thingy happens and their servers are crashing because so many people are streaming on their platform. So I'm sure there are a lot of these moments in every founder's journey and in every startup's journey. So do you have any stories like that, highlight reel moments from your journey where you had to stop and be like, damn, we're actually building something pretty cool here?
Definitely, and you mentioned Silicon Valley. So what we used to do was, so when we were in college, every winters and summers, we used to go somewhere like Bangalore or Mumbai and, work out of there. So every winter or summer, we used to call them season one, season two, season three, just like Silicon Valley. So
Wow.
yeah, that was pretty interesting. But I think it's very important to at times, just stop at the moment and look at what you built, to actually feel, that you have done a good job, to feel the accomplishment that you have reached, right? At the same time, it's very important to keep looking ahead, but it's very important. And for us, there have been multiple moments, but one of them is pretty important, because even when we pivoted to Stratzy, and there was a user who used to invest in a previous ideas and strategy, then he came on to the new version, and he liked it, and he was like, please go ahead, do keep doing what you do, and I'll keep supporting you. He gave a phone call, and he was like, I have huge respect for what you're building, because he understood that building this thing is not very easy, given the fact that you are just out of college
Yeah,
student, right? And being in fintech, which is highly dominated by people in their 30s, 40s, right? Highly regulatory, all of those things. And he really respected that, and he said some very kind words to us and the team. And that was a moment we realized, we have actually impacted people's life, that we are close to their daily lives, and that is something which was very beautiful.
that's so cool. Awesome. Mohit, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. As you know, I am a power user almost of Stratzy. I love the platform and I think everybody should go check it out. Love to talk to you always. Love to see this growth and kudos, man. I can't wait to see where this goes in the next few years.
So thank you so much, Noah. It was great talking with you.
Awesome.